the search for Maura Murray. 20 years ago this week, the college student from Massachusetts crashed her car on Route 112 in Haverhill, never to be seen again.
The mystery surrounding her disappearance continues to be an obsession for cyber sleuths and podcasters.
For the Murray family, not knowing what happened to Maura is a decades-long source of heartbreak and of frustration.
If anybody saw her, call us,
It's here. Maura crashed her 1996 Saturn.
No evidence was found in connection with that case.
That she wants to come home and be buried in her hometown. And she can't be buried up here. And I need help.
February 9th, 2004. A rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. A car is found, abandoned. The driver, a 21-year-old college student, is nowhere to be seen. No signs of struggle, no clear direction of travel, no confirmed sightings beyond a single moment. Just a timeline that doesn't quite make sense. This is the disappearance of Maura Murray. Before the mystery, there was a life. Maura Murray was a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. She was known to be disciplined, athletic, and driven. In high school, she had been a standout runner. In college, she was working toward a future in healthcare. To most people around her, nothing seemed out of place. But in the days leading up to her disappearance, small details began to surface. Not dramatic ones, not obvious ones, just cracks. In late 2003, Maura was involved in an incident involving unauthorized use of a credit card belonging to another student. She was later charged, though the situation remained relatively low profile at the time. Then, on February 8, 2004, the night before she disappeared, Maura crashed her father's car in Massachusetts after attending a gathering. No serious injuries were reported, but it was another incident added to the timeline. Individually, these moments don't seem significant, but together, they begin to form a pattern of stress, pressure, and instability. And then, the next day, everything changed. On the morning of February 9th, Maura sent an email to her professors and workplace. And in it, she claimed there had been a death in her family. There hadn't been. The message was simple, direct, and untrue. Shortly after, she packed some of her belongings, clothing and school materials. She withdrew approximately $280 from an ATM, nearly all the money in her account. She then purchased alcohol from a local store. Receipts later confirmed items like vodka, Baileys, and boxed wine. At some point, Maura also searched online for directions, primarily to locations in northern New England, including areas in Vermont and New Hampshire. There was no confirmed destination, no confirmed plan, just a direction, a way. And then she left campus. This wasn't reported as a disappearance at the time. It looked like someone taking a break, maybe a few days away. But there was one problem. She never told anyone where she was going. At approximately 7:27 p.m., a resident living along a rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire, heard a loud thud. A car had crashed into a snowbank along Wild Ammonoosuc Road. When a neighbor looked out, they saw a young woman near the vehicle. The car was later identified as Maura's. According to the witness, the woman appeared shaken but conscious. She reportedly declined assistance when it was offered. Police were called, but in the time between the call and their arrival, everything changed. When authorities reached the scene, Maura Murray was gone. Inside the vehicle, investigators found personal belongings, alcohol containers, and a rag stuffed into the tailpipe. The rag, according to Maura's father, may have been used as a temporary fix for car issues. There was no clear signs of a violent struggle, no obvious indication of foul play. But there was something strange. Despite fresh snow, there was no clear footprints leading away from the crash site into the surrounding woods. It was as if she had left the scene and then disappeared without a trace. Search efforts began quickly. Local authorities, volunteers, and tracking dogs were deployed to the area. The conditions were cold, snow-covered terrain, limited visibility. Tracking dogs were able to pick up Maura's scent near the vehicle, but that scent stopped abruptly. In the middle of the road, not in the woods, not on a trail, just gone. Extensive searches were conducted in the surrounding area. Miles of forest were examined. Nearby properties were checked, but no confirmed trace of Maura was ever found. No body, no clothing, no personal items beyond what was left in the car. Over time, multiple theories began to emerge. One possibility is that Maura fled the scene on foot to avoid legal trouble, possibly due to alcohol in the vehicle. In doing so, she may have entered the woods and succumbed to the freezing temperatures. But this theory raises questions. Search teams found no footprints, and despite repeated searches over the years, no remains were discovered. Another possibility is that Maura accepted a ride from someone passing by. The timing window was small, but not impossible. A vehicle could have stopped, picked her up, and left the area before police arrived. But there was no confirmed witnesses to such an event, no clear suspects, just possibility. Some believe Maura intended to leave her life behind. The email, the packed belongings, the withdrawn cash, all could suggest planning. But there's a problem. There has been no verified activity linked to her since that night. No financial records, no confirmed sightings, no communication. If she chose to disappear, she did so completely. In most disappearance cases, there's a final trace, a last confirmed moment where the person still exists in the world, before everything becomes uncertainty. For Maura Murray, that moment was captured on camera. Earlier on February 9th, 2004, Maura visited an ATM. The footage is simple, unremarkable. She stands in front of the machine, withdraws cash, and leaves. There's no visible distress, no urgency, no sign that anything is about to go wrong. She looks normal, calm, like someone going about an ordinary day. But that's what makes it unsettling, because this is one of the last confirmed recordings of her. A moment where everything still makes sense. Before the emails, before the drive, before the crash. It's easy to watch the footage now, knowing what happens later, and look for something. A clue, a hesitation, a sign that she knew something or felt something. But there's nothing obvious, no hidden message, no clear indication of what comes next. Just a person standing in front of a machine, unaware that this moment would become one of the last times she was ever seen. Moments like this are what makes cases like this so difficult, because they remind us that disappearances don't always begin with something dramatic. Sometimes they begin with something ordinary. A simple transaction, a quiet decision, a step taken without hesitation, and then a sequence of events that leads us to a place where answers stop. No confirmed sightings after that night, no verified contact, no explanation. Just a recording that captured a moment in time before everything disappeared. And with that, we've reached the end of this case. More than 2 decades later, the disappearance of Maura Murray remains unsolved. A timeline filled with questions, and a moment captured before disappearance. And before I go, I just want to say thank you. This video is a bit different from what I've been doing lately, but it also feels like something I've wanted to come back to for a while. It's been nearly 2 years since the last Moments Captured Before Disappearance episode, so bringing this back as a special episode really means a lot. We're also getting really close to 800 subscribers at the time of me recording this, which is honestly crazy to me. So if you've been watching, supporting, or even just passing by, thank you, and I love you all so much. And hopefully, this is just the beginning of getting back into more of these videos, slowly but surely. Good night, and take care.